राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। राधा माधव राधा माधव श्री राधे। जय राधा नील माधव श्री राधे। जय गौरनिताय श्री गौरनिताय। जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्री श्रीमदभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवत पुराण की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। we're only will do in English. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, titled Remembrance of Lord Krishna. Uddhava is remembering Lord Krishna on the questions posed by Vidura. So, text number 10, very important shloka. Uddhava is giving because he is going to give a very wonderful principle in the shloka. Devasya mayaya sprishta ye chanyada sadashrita भ्राम्यते धीर्न तद्वाक्यै आत्मन्युक्तात्मनो हरो देवस्य मायया स्पृष्टा ये चान्यदसदाश्रिता भ्राम्यते धीर्न तद्वाक्यै आत्मन्युक्तात्मनो हरो देवस्य मायया स्पृष्टा ये चान्यदसदाश्रिता भ्राम्यते धीर्न तद्वाक्यै आत्मन्युक्तात्मनो हरो. Anybody? ये चान्यदसदाश्रिता आत्मन्युक्तात्मनो हरो. देवस्य मायया स्पृष्टा देवस्य मायया स्पृष्टा ये चान्यदसदाश्रिता भ्राम्यते धीर्न तद्वाक्ये आत्मन्युक्तात्मनो हरो. Devasya, of the personality of Godhead, Mayaya, by the influence of external energy, Sprishtaha, infected, Ye, all those, Cha, and Anyat, others, Asat, illusory, Ashritaha, being taken to, Bhramyate, bewilder, Dhihi, intelligence, Na, not, Tat, of them, Vakyaihi, by those words, Atmani, in the Supreme Self, Uptatmanaha, surrendered souls, Harau, unto the Lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki, under no circumstances can the words of persons bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered souls. Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to all the evidences of the Vedas, He is accepted by all Acharyas, including Sripad Shankaracharya. But when He was present in the world, different classes of men accepted Him differently, and therefore their calculations of the Lord were also different. Generally, persons who had faith in the revealed scriptures accepted the Lord as He is, and all of them merged into great bereavement when the Lord disappeared from the world. In the first canto, we have already discussed the lamentation of Arjuna and Yudhishthira to whom the disappearance of Lord Krishna was almost intolerable up to the end of their lives. The Yadavas were only partially cognizant of the Lord, but they are also glorious because they had the opportunity to associate with the Lord, who acted as the head of their family, and they also rendered the Lord intimate service. The Yadavas and the other devotees of the Lord are different from those who wrongly calculated him to be an ordinary human personality. Such persons are certainly bewildered by the illusory energy. They are hellish and are envious of the Supreme Lord. The illusory energy acts very powerfully on them because, in spite of their elevated mundane education, such persons are faithless and are infected by the mentality of atheism. They are always very eager to establish that Lord Krishna was an ordinary man who was killed by a hunter due to his many impious acts in plotting to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and Jarasandha and the demoniac kings of the earth. Such persons have no faith in the statement of the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is unaffected by the reactions of work. Namam karmani limpanti. According to the atheistic point of view, Lord Krishna's family, the Yadu dynasty, was vanquished due to being cursed by the Brahmanas for the sins committed by Krishna in killing the sons of Dhritarashtra. All these blasphemies do not touch the heart of the devotees of the Lord because they know perfectly well what is what. Their intelligence regarding the Lord is never disturbed, but those who are disturbed by the statements of the Asuras are also condemned. That is what Uddhava meant in this verse. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमावों विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. With the blessings of their Lordship Shri Radha Neelamadhav, Shri Gaunitai, and Shri Lakshmana Narasimhadev Bhagavan, and all the Acharyas in the Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, and all the assembled Vaishnavas. With their blessings, I would like to discuss on this wonderful verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, which Uddhava is speaking. Vidura asked various questions. So, after when Vidura asked about Krishna and his family all Yadu Vamshajas, and so many devotees, everything connected to Lord. At that time, immediately Uddhava went into a rapture of ecstasy. And at that time, immediately he just say, many places it has happened. Like last time also I was discussing. Shukdev Goswami also went into ecstasy when Parikshit Maharaj asked question. And Narad Muni also went into ecstasy when Valmiki asked about Lord Ram. So like this, and Brahmaji also went into ecstasy when Narad Muni questioned. And Yamaraj also went into ecstasy when Yamadutas asked. So they all are grateful because an opportunity to discuss about Supreme Lord has come. Now in this connection, he is also saying that there are sometimes some atheistic people who may speak against Lord. And when they speak against Lord, the devotee's intelligence is not bewildered. So that is the whole context here. In this connection, I just wanted to share one pastime which Srila Prabhupada, one story which he would just mention, which is little nice. There was one king. This king had a very good minister. His name was Bhagwan Pandit. So this Bhagwan Pandit was very intelligent and very wise, and he was favorite of this king. And many other ministers became envious of this minister, who was known as Bhagwan Pandit. And then they all plotted against this minister. They thought somehow we have to pull him down, and somehow we have to bring some infamy to this minister. Otherwise, he is going to remain the favorite, and our king doesn't give much preference to us. So they were all feeling envious. So one day, what they did, they told the guards in the kingdom that you should not allow this minister to come inside, and you send him out from there. And then this Bhagwan Pandit came next day to the court, and then the guards stopped him, forbade him to enter, and finally he couldn't even signal, nothing he could do. So he was sent out. And then all the other ministers, they told the king that this Bhagwan Pandit has died. So he is no more alive. And then finally the king was feeling sorry. And after some time, one fine day, this king had a procession, and he was coming outside his court, and he was coming inside to just troll the entire city. At that time, this Bhagwan Pandit thought, this is a good opportunity, at least I can meet king face to face. So what he did, he climbed on one big tree, so that from the tree he can signal the king. And then all the ministers, before the king saw, they saw that this minister is climbed. So they went and told the king that Bhagwan Pandit has become ghost. So be careful, he is there on this tree. And then king heard first time that Bhagwan Pandit, first of all, they told that he has died, and now they told that he has become a ghost. And then as soon as the king was coming near the tree, this Bhagwan Pandit started making more gestures just to attract the attention of the king. But finally it was of no avail. Immediately king said, please go fast. So he told the procession to go ahead, and Bhagwan Pandit understood how by so many envious people's gossip he has got tricked, and he has lost real direction in life. So Prabhupada says, atheistic people are like this. They actually make a propaganda, and they misdirect and they pollute the intelligence of common innocent people, public. And currently all the ads, so many, whether it is artificial intelligence is actually so much, it is being driven. People are sitting and they are brainstorming how to attract, they are working on the psychology of people, how to get people to make people addicted to all the social media and all the ads, just so that the color combinations which they keep, the kind of imagery which they bring in, it is just to get the attention and make people hooked on. So that means the entire intelligence is being used in a way to distract and deviate people from the real values of life and to take people away from God consciousness. So, but it is said in this shloka, Devasya Mayaya Sprushta Echa Anya Dasadashrita Brahmyate Dhir Na Tadvakyai Atman Yuptatmano Haro. That means it says, but those who are fixed in devotional service, those who are surrendered to the Supreme Lord, their intelligence will not get bewildered. They'll remain fixed up. But those who are not yet fixed up, very easily they can get bewildered. Very easily they can actually get distracted from their spiritual path, from the real values of life. So, I would like to ask if any of you would like to share some Shastric references of those devotees whose intelligence was bewildered, especially by coming in touch with negative association, asat sangha. Prabhuji is saying about Kaikeyi, very important, because especially Kaikeyi was actually, it is said Kaikeyi's heart was so pure and she had so much of devotion to Lord Ram, and it was as good as Mother Kaushalya. And she did not feel any difference when Lord Ram was going to get coronated. She did not feel, she felt equally happy if Bharat was going to get coronated or whether Lord Ram was going to get coronated. She felt actually the same happiness. But when Manthara came, the very name of Manthara is also very apt and fitting. Manthara means one who is going to churn. So she churned the heart of Kaikeyi and she brought out the poison. Of course, there was no poison, but probably she only added the poison and made it. So she made Kaikeyi become envious of Supreme Lord Ram. So that means many times we may see that we are into bhakti, but if at all we have association of those who are negative minded, at that time our own devotion also may get contaminated. So Kaikeyi is one of the best example. She changed the desires of Kaikeyi. She broke the faith of Kaikeyi. So this is a very good example. It's true. Bhaumasura, the son of Supreme Lord himself. So he was not bewildered. He got affected. And then he became envious. He was doing everything of what the Lord was actually wanting him to do. So those are the son of Mother Earth and son of directly Krishna. So he became envious. And it is said that he became Bhaumasura by the association of Banasura. Yeah, by the association of Banasura. And Banasura became how did Banasura became envious? I think by the association of Dvivida also got affected. Dvivida also got affected by the association of Banasura. If I am right, Praji? Dvivida became offended Lakshman, and then he associated with Banasur, and then he also became envious. So that means even though directly agents of Supreme Lord, by association one can become completely opposite to the Supreme Lord's mission. Dhritarashtra by the association of Duryodhana. Karna also. Actually, if at all he had taken association of Pandavas, he would have become glorious. but by association of Duryodhana, he became Kala Krishnadas. Kala Krishnadas, momentarily he got affected. Momentarily he got affected. So, like this. And now I want to hear positive. There were situations of where they got to hear or they got to associate with negative minded people. They also spoke poison out, but still the intelligence of the devotees, they did not get bewildered. Is there any situation? Ali Maharaj, very good. Shukracharya tried to speak against, but still Bali Maharaj kept his integrity, kept his promise, truthfulness. He kept his devotion, faith, trust in the Supreme Lord. Shukracharya, though he told that he is Vishnu, please don't give any charity, but Bali Maharaj remained steadfast. Any other example? Very good. Chitraketu Maharaj also did not get disturbed by the curse. In specific, anybody who spoke in opposite, but still they remained steadfast. Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu spoke so much against, but still Prahlad Maharaj remained. I was thinking of another one or two examples. Gopinath Acharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was trying to prove, he was trying to say that how this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how can he be an incarnation? And but on the other hand, Gopinath Acharya, he remained convinced and he said, so a person who has not received the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, only he can never understand how this person is the incarnation of Supreme Lord. Rather, not only that he did not get bewildered, on the contrary, he convinced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. This is one. Anything? Haridas Thakur, Haridas Thakur, when he was challenged by Nawab Hussain Shah, and then he said, you stop preaching, and you are of our caste, Islam, and instead of chanting Allah's name, and you are chanting Krishna's name, and you are preaching also. So, but Haridas Thakur said, even if you cut my body into small pieces, even one small piece of flesh is going to chant Krishna's name. So the conviction of that, he actually, it made a great strike in the heart of Nawab Hussain Shah. This is especially, I think, Haridas Thakur was being blasphemed by that Gopal Chapal, Hana Praji? Gopal Chakravarti. He was trying to offend Haridas Thakur. When Haridas Thakur was speaking the glories of the holy name, and he said, it is the bliss which the holy name is going to give is much higher than liberation, mukti. Then there was Gopal Chakravarti, he said, how can you say that mukti is substandard than the bliss of bhakti? At that time, and then he cursed Haridas Thakur. Let your whole body get leprosy, and let your nose fall off. And then immediately, Haridas Thakur was not disturbed. But Hiranya and Govardhan Majumdar, they actually said, they were also not disturbed, but they felt this Gopal Chakravarti is causing disturbance to the entire Vaishnava community. Then they banished him. So very wonderful examples all of you just gave. Vibhishan was also not bewildered. His faith was not disturbed. So he remained steadfast. And one more example, here especially it is said, Uddhava is actually speaking about Yadu Vamshas. And many of the Yadu Vamshis, some of them, actually, though they had the same dynasty as the Supreme Lord, they did not believe that Krishna is the Supreme. They actually doubted the supreme position of Krishna. And on the other hand, there were many other, very few could actually understand the supreme position of Lord even when Krishna was present on the planet Earth. Not everyone could believe. So many of them were actually confused and they doubted that whether Krishna is supreme. Probably he is a very powerful mystic, he is very powerful personality, extraordinary personality, but not supreme. Like this many doubted. And some rather they went into the extreme and they blasphemed Krishna. And Yudhishthira Maharaj wanted to prove to the entire world how Krishna is the supreme. So he did Rajasuya Yagna. And in the Rajasuya Yagna, he made Krishna take the supreme position and offered the worship, the supreme worship called Agra Puja, the foremost worship. And in that assembly, Shishupal actually blasphemed Krishna. He made an elaborate, unlimited blasphemy, and finally his neck was severed from the body. In that instance, the only few of the devotees actually remained, their intelligence was not bewildered. And especially it is mentioned, Sahadev and Bhishma, they actually spoke out how Krishna is the Supreme Lord. They proved in the entire assembly with all Shastric references and all the instances where Krishna displayed his supremacy of Godhood. So like this, great devotees, their intelligence will not get bewildered. And one more instance, when Krishna himself was there, Krishna was trying to tease Rukmini. And Krishna himself was proving that how Rukmini is actually, she has got cheated by marrying Krishna. Actually, she has got a cowherd boy and whom everyone is trying to criticize, who just ran away from the battle and who did not fight. So like this, Krishna was also giving so many case studies. Krishna was trying to prove himself that he is of unworthy. But still, Rukmini's intelligence was not bewildered. She remained loyal to Krishna, she remained steadfast, she remained clear in her intelligence, she was not bewildered. So, that's why very important that we, few things that we understand. That especially advanced, great, surrendered souls, they remain, their intelligence will not get bewildered, even in the most trying circumstances and even in the most difficult situations, they'll remain always loyal and they'll remain chaste to Guru Parampara, they'll remain chaste to Krishna. So, but how do we remain like that? So, now in this connection, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have just another 8 to 10 minutes. I'll just read few shlokas from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 2265. Just before this, okay, this is the first shloka, 64. He says, how do we understand who is a devotee? So those who can open, those who have, you can have Madhya Leela 2264, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So in this, he says, how do we understand who is a devotee? On what conditions can we, on what basis or on what foundation can we call anybody as a devotee or not? So he says, Shraddhavan jana haya bhakti adhikari, uttama madhyama kanishtha shraddha anusari. He says, who is the adhikari for karma yoga? One who is attached. Who is the adhikari for doing jnana yoga? One who is detached. And who is the adhikari for doing bhakti? One who is neither too much attached nor too much detached. Because in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he says, Nati nirvinno, nati sakto. One who is not too much attached, one who is not too much detached. If one is too much detached, he cannot even perform bhakti. If one is too much attached, then also he'll not be steady in bhakti. So that's why suppose somebody says, Prabhuji, I'm having a lot of attachment. It is much better candidate than one who is completely detached. One who says that I don't feel any attachment to anything or to anyone. That means he should go to Himalayas and he'll not be able to do bhakti. So here he says, who is the person who is bhakti adhikari? Who is shraddhavan, one who possesses shraddha. So based on shraddha, there are three categories: Uttama, Madhyama and Kanishta. And now he says, who is Uttama adhikari? Shastra yuktiye sunipuna drudha shraddha yara Uttama adhikari seyi taraye samsara. Two criteria. One is Shastra Yuktye Sunipunaha. One who is able to have extreme diligence and Shastric discrimination. One who is able to understand Shastras very well. That means one who is deeply learned and able to not just scholarly learned, but also Drudha Shraddha. There are some people who may have scholarly approach to various scriptures, but they lack faith. So when they lack faith, their intelligence is also bewildered. So because they'll get confused. They'll not be able to understand the essence. Tapan Mishra came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, I have read all the Shastras, but I am confused about what is the goal of life. And I don't know what to do in my life. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually said, but fortunately he came into the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he got rightly guided. So in that sense, Shastra Yukta is also important, at the same time Shraddha. So in the next shloka, Rupa Goswami's shloka of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is spoken. Shastre yuktav cha nipunaha sarvatha dridhanishchayah prauda shraddho adhikariyah sa bhakta uttama mataha. So expert in logic of the Shastras and at the same time deeply learned and who has firm faith and conviction. Suppose somebody is not so deeply learned, but who has faith. Like for example, I was saying Gopinath Acharya, when he is speaking about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is proving how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord Krishna incarnation. Sarvam Bhattacharya was also no less learned. He was the foremost scholar in the entire Navadvip. But still, Gopinath Acharya he had an extra edge because he had great faith, and so because of which he also quoted Shastras and he proved how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord. So, but somebody may not be so learned, but they still have faith. So this is what the next shloka says. Shastra yukti nahi jane dridha shraddhavan but shraddhavan. Madhyamadhikari seyi mahabhagyavan. Suppose somebody here has just faith, but he doesn't have shastric intelligence yet. So he is still much better because he is bhagyavan, it is said. Because he is going to still remain in devotional service. He is not going to get bewildered. So that's why he is considered. So ya shastra adishu anipunaha shraddhavan satu madhyamaha. So one who cannot give very good arguments against atheistic and sometimes anti-devotional people, cult. But still he has faith. At least he can protect himself. He will not be able to convince them and make them devotees, but at least he can protect himself. So he is much better devotee. He is madhyama. And the third category of a devotee is Yahara Komala Shraddha se Kanishta Jana Krame Krame Teho Bhakta Haibe Uttama. One whose faith is soft and pliable, the Komala Shraddha. That means one who has very tender faith. We can just see a plant. Anytime, let's say, another cow or a sheep anything comes and can you just eat it and completely uproot. Same thing may happen for devotional faith of an individual who has come just into bhakti, but he associates with those people who are anti-devotees, and sometimes they may associate with atheists, they may associate with deviant pseudo-spiritualists. They are showy in their bhakti, but they don't have faith in bhakti. Rather, they speak against Supreme Lord. Such people, once their faith is broken or shaken, very difficult for them to come back. That's why very important. Like I gave the example of this Bhagavan Pandit and that king. That king's faith was very pliable. It was not very strong. So because of which his faith was shaken. So in that sense, that's why they are called as Komala Shraddha. So therefore, in Rupa Goswami, in Upadeshamrita, he mentions this one concept of not associating with those who are atheists or pseudo-spiritualists. He mentions this twice in Upadeshamrita. See, in the entire Upadeshamrita, it is just a shloka of 11 verses. In 11 verses, he is giving the entire trajectory of a spiritual journey. From a person who is in bhakti, who has just come into bhakti, and how he can attain the supreme most perfection of life. The entire trajectory is being spoken. Rupa Goswami is mentioning just in 11 verses. If suppose anybody is wanting to write a telegram, when they are wanting to write telegram, because for every word and every letter they are supposed to pay. Is there a possibility of people repeating the words, especially in telegram? If at all they are repeating, means they are not so intelligent, because they are going to pay for every letter. Now Rupa Goswami is mentioning twice the same word. In the second shloka, he is mentioning Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyamcha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. He is mentioning about janasanga. And in the third shloka, Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tattat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte shadbir bhakti prasidhyati. He is again telling about sangatyaga. First he said about janasanga, next he is saying about sangatyaga. Both the places he is saying how one should actually keep wrong association out. If one keeps wrong association still inside and wants to make a progress in bhakti, it's almost impossible. That's why very important Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, what is the definition of a Vaishnava? Asat sangatya geyi Vaishnava achar. And as long as one does not give up his wrong association, very difficult for him to make progress. So that's what we learn from this. But for those who are already exalted, advanced souls, their intelligence will not get bewildered. They'll remain steadfast. Their intelligence will remain clear. And those who are not so, those who are little bewildered, even if they come to association of those who are devotees, three things will happen. First thing, their intelligence will become clear. They'll be able to understand what is what clearly. So they'll get clarity of intelligence, they'll have purification of their desires, and they'll have strengthening of their faith. So these three positive effects of good association that can happen. Even if our intelligence is bewildered, we can still come to good association and revive our own spiritual life and our intelligence, and strengthen our own faith and conviction. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Hare Krishna. Any questions, any additions our Priya Gauranga Prabhu can make?